Timeless jewels just got cracked, and now we can find nearly any notable in the game in specific areas of the tree multiple times. Almost every build can take use of good timeless jewels with multiple copies of very good notables. And with poeb's newest update, it makes finding a great timeless jewel easier than ever. All the extra material I'm talking about in today's video will be linked down below, where you should also tell me what combos of jewels and builds you're using so you can share the knowledge with each other. poedb's timeless jewel page has 3 different filters for finding really good notables and what exactly your jewels do. So we're going to talk about all 3 of them and how to use them and what you would use them for. The very first one is the timeless jewel notables. It's going to show you only the notables, and all you do is search the jewel, Glory's Vanity in this example, and the seed. And what this does is it gives you a list and tells you where exactly these notable changes are occurring. If you want to see exactly where that jewel socket is, all you have to do is click jewel socket, open a new tab, and it's going to give you a list, or a picture rather, with a bunch of numbers telling you exactly what number that jewel socket is applying to, right? So 26725 near cleaving, all we have to do is search for 26725, and it's going to be near the cleaving, right, the axe notables. It tells you every single notable change that occurs, and this could be really useful, and probably the most practical use is going to be checking your own jewels for a specific number of notable changes. So you would put in a jewel, you would Control F for dexterity, right? And you'd look up increased dex. You could do strength. You could do any notable change that your build might want, like minion damage on an elegant hubris, for example. That would be the primary use for this very first section. The second section here is going to require you to do a seed input, your jewel, the person, and it's going to have you specify the socket. So now we're going to specify a socket, and we're going to choose Eternal Youth. Now in this second section, the main use of this one is going to be seeing what all the small changes and notable changes are for a specific socket. So here we have all the notables. We can see them all, exactly where they are and exactly what they're changing. But what makes this different than the first section is that we're also getting the small passive changes. So the link skills, right? Not the notable, but the small link skill passives. That one's getting changed to fire res. The minion damage and accuracy before enduring bond gets changed to projectile damage. This can be really, really useful, especially for specific builds. So things like aura stackers may be able to stack up a lot of aura effect by making sure they get jewels that have lots of aura effect small changes. Another very good use of the second filter section is going to be this graphic picture telling you exactly what's happening on the notables without you having to kind of read and remember each and every single change. So here we have Withered on Hit, which is perfect for the Forbidden Right build because we needed that jewel in previous leagues and in this one to get maximum wither stacks. This is the best way to get wither stacks all the way up to 15 as soon as possible. Since Forbidden Right is triggering cast and damage procs and has a lot of projectiles itself, it's hitting more than 15 times per second with all of the projectiles it's shooting out. And so it's trivial to hit 15 wither stacks instantly on a target, which makes this extremely valuable. So this is where you would just see exactly where the notable changes are rather than what the notable changes are. This last third filtering section is going to be just like before, where you choose a jewel socket, you choose your Glory's Vanity. Now, instead of doing a seed, you're going to choose the modifier you want. So in this example, I want to be looking up the chaos damage and the wither on hit. So we're going to look up Ritual of Shadows. Now, there is a second chaos damage, and that one's increased chaos damage and chaos leech. To find out what one's what, you're just going to have to putz around with it in section 2 to see exactly what one is what. But for this, we're going to look up that specific notable in the Eternal Youth jewel socket. So for this one, it's giving us a seed and it's giving us a count. This seed is the one we were using before, and it's going to have 3 of the Wither on Touch notables. This section is insane for increased dex, minion damage, strength, right? All the stat memes, all the whatever memes, right? The aura stacking, all of that stuff is going to have a count here. And you're going to want to stack up in specific jewel sockets, you know, as many as you can, right? You might be able to get a god one. You might find the god seed. You might be able to just get one that has a few really good notables for you. This is where you can go for that. We're gonna go into a couple issues here next. A huge problem here is, for my example with Forbidden Right, we only needed a specific 1 or 2 notables to have one single change here. Now, there is no filtering section for that. I don't get to choose a notable location on the tree. So without this jewel socket, I don't get to choose expertise or ancestral knowledge to turn into the wither on hit one. And it could give me a bunch of seeds and counts for that. But there is not one there. Another issue alongside this last filter is that it doesn't keep going, right? It does a lot of 3s, which is cool, because it gives me a better chance of being able to find one, but it doesn't just give me the 2s, and it doesn't even go down to 1, right? So there's a lot of options being called here. So I think that is one really big change that could go into the poedb timeless jewel section. Maybe if GGG doesn't nerf or change how timeless jewels work next league, that could be implemented. Just a way to look up specific notables on the tree and then specific changes to those notables. That would be fantastic, instead of a count, which is really good, right? Another change that I would really like to see is just for a way to search for multiple modifiers at the same time, because there's going to be some builds that are going to take advantage of multiple copies, right? Now, this could be set up as a weighting system. For example, maybe I want Chaos Leech and I want Wither on Hit. I could give a weighting of Wither on Hit, since I really want that, of like 800, and then I could give the Chaos Leech, you know, like 400 or something, right? Where I'm really prioritizing the Chaos Wither on Hit. I want more of those. I guess that example doesn't really work well. It would be something like minion damage and then whatever. Or being able to look up even the small notables would be fantastic. That's another one. So with Glorious Vanity, you can get aura effect. With other ones, you know, there are plenty of changes that all the timeless jewels make. Just being able to look up the small notables, because sometimes it can be pretty good to be stacking all those up, right? You might be able to make some nice meme character that just takes a bunch of small notables in your timeless jewel. I don't know. That would be kind of fun. But at least the ability to look up smalls and multiple copies and do some count or something. I don't know how any of this works. I'm not going to pretend to. I'm just going to give suggestions, and they may just be crazy and impossible, and everyone's like, oh my god, you're never going to be able to do that. I don't know. It's just something I want. Okay, so I'm going to say it. Anyways, we've gone over the new Timeless Jewel section. If you want to know how Timeless Jewels got cracked, there's a great write-up here, right on the page for Timeless Jewels, about how exactly the code was cracked for the Timeless Jewels. A lot of it is a lot of, like, you know, nerdy, codey math stuff. I don't understand any of it at all, honestly. I'm just really appreciative of the poedb page now, where we can take what was found out and make practical use of it by, first, being able to look at all the notable changes, second, being able to see the notable and small changes on a specific jewel socket, and third, being able to look up multiple copies of one notable in a jewel socket. That is so handy, so helpful. Thank you, poedb gods. If you like this video, then like it. Let me know your other notable jewel passive changes down below for your build. I know some people are going to be doing Forbidden Right Wither. I know there's going to be some aura stackers and some minions. Yo, let me know what crazy stuff you found. You don't even have to give me your seed. I just want to know. Like and subscribe. Catch me on the Twitch stream. I'll see you guys later. Peace.